both Tuesday and Willow's Euphoria are fixing one big problem. Before this, they were pretty AP hungry. You had to spend lots of actions feeding their rotation in order to keep their high value effects up, which are both tied to their ultimate. Having anything but 100% uptime on those effects will cause a significant DPS loss. But with Euphoria, they become way more passive, way less demanding, all while pumping out higher damage than before. That said, it's been a while since we really talked about the Poison team, so let's do a quick recap first before going into their Euphoria and how the playstyle changes. Starting with our spooky maid lady, Tuesday. Tuesday is the absolute core of the Poison team. The first big thing she does for Poison is her array. While it's up, Poison duration no longer goes down when it ticks. And at the beginning of the enemy's turn, those Poison stacks will also tick one extra time. Then, when the array ends or gets replaced, it detonates all Poison effects on the enemy at once. On top of the array, she also brings a very special mechanic to Poison. She allows Poison damage to crit, and her skill 2 is a powerful debuff that increases the enemy's Genesis damage taken and reduces their crit resistance. Lastly, she gives the entire team Moxie storage, letting them store up to 5x Moxie instead of wasting it. Overall, when you're playing Tuesday, the most important thing is keeping full uptime on her array, while also keeping her debuff active. Willow serves more of a DPS role in the Poison team. Her main damage tool is a special poison called Witch's Bane. And yes, it's still considered poison, but it behaves very differently from regular poison. First, Witch's Bane has a cap of 10 stacks, and its damage ramps up based on how many times Witch's Bane has triggered on that target during the turn, maxing out on the 4th trigger. So, starting from the 4th stack that ticked during a turn, it will deal 77% Genesis damage per stack. You have two options when come to applying Witch's Bane. You can use her skill 1, which converts regular poison into Witch's Bane. Or, you can use her ultimate, which puts her into a channel state. While she's channeling, Willow automatically applies Witch's Bane each turn. She also increases the starting count of Witch's Bane, and both of these scale based on how long she stays in channel. By turn 3 of the channel, all of her Witch's Bane ticks will deal 77% damage instead of needing to ramp up. The catch is, channeling costs Moxie every turn, and each turn, the Moxie cost gets higher. Once Willow doesn't have enough Moxie to maintain it, she does a finishing blow and ends the channel. But the good thing is, while channel is active, every action she takes generates 2 Moxie instead of 1. And lastly, she can further amplify her damage with skill 2, which consumes regular poison to make Witch's Bane tick additional times without consuming its duration. Like I said at the start, the biggest thing these Euphoria upgrades do for the Poison team is simple. They massively reduce the amount of actions you need to spend just to maintain Tuesday's array and Willow's channel. For Tuesday, her Euphoria gives her a ridiculous amount of free Moxie. She starts combat with 2 extra Moxie, which means she now starts at 4 Moxie right away. Then, when she casts her ultimate, she immediately gets 1 Moxie refunded. And while the array is still active, she gains 1 Moxie every turn, so in total, the ultimate itself refunds 4 Moxie. Because of this, Tuesday only needs to use 1 skill each rotation to maintain full uptime on her array, which is honestly a huge deal for the team's AP economy. Another big change is her special debuff. The crit resistance reduction is doubled, and it also applies an extra 20% poison damage taken increase. And on top of that, while her array is active, the debuff duration increases by 1 every turn. So instead of constantly refreshing it every 2 turns, you can now just cast it once and be done with it. This also means it's actually worth fishing for rank 2 and rank 3 debuffs from Tuesday now, which applies more amount of Genesis damage taken increase with each rank. Willow gets even more free Moxie from her Euphoria. If she's not in channel, she just straight up gains 2 Moxie for free every turn. And when her channel ends, the finishing blow also gives her 3 Moxie. So basically, her ultimate can come back up immediately every time the channel ends. While she's channeling, she also gains 1 Moxie for every 2 stacks of Witch's Bane on the enemy with the highest stack count. So realistically, once things are set up, she's getting 5 Moxie for free every turn. and this pretty much frees you from constantly needing to use her skills just to keep the rotation going, which is a big deal because even when the enemy's Witch's Bane is already maxed out, using her skill 1 still consumes regular poison stacks without creating more Witch's Bane. Spamming skill 1 when you don't need to is not just wasted AP. It can actively eat into your poison setup. Outside of the Moxie, Willow also gets a pretty significant damage boost. Not only is Witch's Bane damage doubled, her debuff also gains a bonus effect where each stack of Witch's Bane makes the enemy take 5% more poison damage, so that gives another pretty consistent 50% damage bonus toward poison. Willow and Tuesday's Euphoria have pretty minimal impact on Ezio's poison follow-up team, and mostly only improve the regular poison team's power. And for poison teams, we basically have 3 options at the moment. The first one is with Euphoria Jessica, who gets quite a bit of extra poison detonation from her Euphoria. The second one is Ramona, the upcoming poison support. I'll talk more about her in her actual guide, and yeah, you should absolutely watch that video. And lastly, we have the new special fire poison team. No, not that fire poison. As we talked about in Lawrence Butterfly's guide, she can do some really stupid stuff with her printer ultimate, and forcing extra Willow detonations is one of those things. That team is currently the strongest poison team until Ramona comes out. Now, one very important thing to remember is that Willow's detonation costs regular poison every time it triggers, and at rank 3, that's 4 poison stacks needed per cast. So if you're playing the Lawrence version, make sure you're spamming Tuesday's skill 1 enough to keep regular poison stocked up. Otherwise, you'll have the detonation set up, but not enough poison to actually cash it out. And regardless of which version of the poison team you play, Marcia is going to be the best in slot sustain. She buffs crit, which is very important for this team, and she's also extremely passive. Again, I'm sorry, but Sotheby is just not currently a meta sustain, even in the poison teams. Poison team still does damage in pretty much the same way, so most of the builds also stay the same. For Resonance, the main focus is still attack and crit. That said, crit rate itself is not as high priority as before, because Tuesday's crit resistance debuff got enhanced, and Marcia also provides some passive crit. For Psychubes, we're still mostly looking at their signatures, but we do have one newer option from a while back, which is Sotheby's Anecdote Psychube. The Psychube only really works on Willow or Jessica, and for Willow, I still wouldn't put it above her signature. But hey, it's an option. Not the best option, but still an option. You could also use 37's Anecdote Psychube on Jessica if you want. It could technically be good, but realistically speaking, Jessica ain't the one doing the damage. And lastly, their portrait value is also pretty much the same. Willow gets a pretty significant Witch's Bane damage increase from P1, P2, and P5. Tuesday's only good portrait is still P2, while the rest are just minimal boosts toward her own poison damage. So, what do you guys think of the revived poison niche? Do you enjoy the damage over time plus detonation playstyle like I do? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, this has been SteamBunX. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.